Match day 9, Major League Soccer is right around the corner, and today we are talking all things week 9. We have some of the best picks and predictions from some of the easiest plays we think for the Major League Soccer weekend. Stay right there. We'll be right back. All right, we are back. The Designated Pundits, MLS Matchday 9, predictions and best bets. I'm Bob here with Scott. We have Dion and Sir Alex. The whole crew is in the house today, and we have some awesome picks, plays for you. We have some of the best bets, and they don't all agree this week, which could be a sign of some good things to come. Quick recap of last week's shows. Myself being 4-2. Alex, 2-2, but at a plus 1.15 units on the high end. Cincy play at plus 190. Gotta like that. The other guys with small losses. That brings us to our week 8 totals. 8 and 9 on 17 wagers, plus 0.61 units. That means 7 of 8 MLS weeks so far. We are in the positive. And when we take a look at our season, 70 and 67 on 137 wagers, plus 14.71 units. That is a great return. I'm leading the way, 12.1. Alex is back on track after 3 or 4 straight losing weeks. He's turned around, 4.42 units in the positive with an 18 and 16 record. We got to put that behind us because although we have an incredibly profitable show here, sports betting is a what have you done for me lately kind of thing. So we need to get right into MLS Matchday 9. That for us is going to start with Austin hosting the LA Galaxy. This is Saturday, 1:45 p.m. Eastern time at Q2 Stadium. Now remember, this is Easter Sunday is coming up this week. So I believe all matches are going to be on Saturday for this one, which I guess is really good for the players, good for those observing religious holidays, but maybe not great for the time when everyone's going to be sitting around a TV watching sports. In this one, we have Austin as a heavy home favorite, minus 120. The LA Galaxy are going to be heavy road dogs at plus 290. The draw is at plus 270. Over under 2.5 goals, minus 136 to the over, plus 112 to the under. And that's where we're going to get started. Let's throw over to, I believe, Alex, who has a official play in this match. Sorry, Dion, who has an official play in this match.
Yeah, so I couldn't go either way on who wins this or if it ends up in a draw. So I actually just went with that under 2.5 at plus 112 because both teams are averaging only pretty much under 1 at 1 for themselves. So I had to go with the under 2.5.
Absolutely. And I have a new betting model. I have like a little AI plus Bob spreadsheet here where we're pumping out all kinds of numbers. It's like a full pure MLS betting model. And when I looked at this was the biggest advantage of the week on the under 2.5 goals. Brandon Vasquez, put him on a milk carton. I don't know where he's been all this season. These are two teams who are not scoring, not playing their best. And when the sports model, the numbers match what I'm thinking in my head, I kind of know that's a slam dunk. So let's go through the numbers a little bit here. Austin, 3 goals and 2 goals against at home this season, seeing only 5 goals in those 4 matches. And on the other hand, LA Galaxy, they're giving up goals on the road, 4 goals scored, 7 goals against, for a total of 11 goals in 4 matches. But 2 of those 4 matches went over 2.5 goals. The other 2 didn't. And the 2 that went over were against Minnesota and Portland, 2 teams with potent offenses. That's not Austin. I could see this being 0-0. I could see this being 1-1. I can see this being a game that we don't want to watch, but we have to because it is prime time. Anyone else have any thoughts here on Austin versus LA Galaxy? 2 official plays, me and Dion, plus 112 to the under.
I like the under. I really like your reasoning for it. Austin's finishing offense, their offensive output is really, really poor. Even when they were generating a lot of chances against San Diego, they just could not put it away. Brandon Vasquez should have had 4 in that game. They only ended up scoring twice. The only thing that concerns me is there was something in that Austin defense last week. I know that Vancouver is a very, very good team right now, and Brian White is one of the best strikers in the league. but the way that they were disconnected, the way that they were allowing movement, in and behind that line and pulling that line apart, that's the kind of thing that somebody like Christian Ramirez can take advantage of. Paintsill's going to be fit for this. Peck's going to be fit for this, right? So if LA can put it into the right zone, there's a chance there that they could pick that Austin defense apart, and they have the talent to put the goals away.
Yeah, they've been a little bit stagnant this year, but for me, I'm just going to have to see it before I bet on it. Keep in mind, these projections have included that Zonka is going to be out on suspension for the LA Galaxy, and even that can't push Austin towards an over in this match. Let's move on now. The next official play is going to be in the Crew versus Miami game. Crew 5-3-0, Miami 4-3-1. Maybe there'll be one less undefeated team this weekend. Maybe they can't both lose, so I guess we have that going for us. This game is 4:30, which happens to be primetime on Saturday, Huntington Bank Field. And looking a little bit here at the betting odds, we have Columbus Crew at plus 115, Inter Miami plus 210, and the draw at plus 250. A lot of things at work here, including Miami just being in not great form, dropping some points, not putting up the explosive offensive performances we expect from them. We have one official play here, and that's going to be Alex.
Yeah, I'm expecting goals in this game. I don't care who wins. I'm taking the over at 2.5. I know it's a lousy odds, minus 170. This game is in Cleveland, Ohio. 70,000 people, something like that, going to be there. Weird field. Neither team's played on it. I don't care what anybody says. Miami's defense doesn't scare anybody. So I'm expecting goals this game. Columbus alone, I think, is going to get a few. I'm going to take the over this on 2.5. I'm expecting a lot of goals in this game.
I actually like Falcone. I think Miami's offense might have taken a step forward, and I know Scott's kind of itching to say something about this match. But for me, if I'm going to take one part of this, like the Miami over-under on a goal and a half at plus 124, like Miami needs to score twice and I get plus money. You're not seeing that anywhere. You did not see that last year in a single game. I think that there might be some money on that one, especially if we're thinking overs, maybe a little 2-2, maybe a little 2-1 loss for the Crew. I don't know. I just can't bet on Miami right now, but I do think that this offense is going to open up. And when they do, they're going to be just as explosive as they were last season. And that plus 124, it might not be this week, it might be next week. It's going to seem like a value when it finally hits.
Yeah, that's what I agree with. There's something that's just a little bit off with this Miami group right now, that they're not scoring freely. We've seen it just a couple weeks now where they're just...
Suarez, too. Suarez, to me, I think he's hurt.
Yeah, they're just
He's not running. Yeah.
And you're seeing them not get the ball in, to Messi into good positions and stuff like that. So there's something off about that. I kind of think it's with the coaching. That's a conversation for another day. The thing that really dissuaded me from looking at this game was that these two teams have the third and fourth lowest expected goals against in the league. So Miami's defense, who all last year we were like, this is a terrible defense, they should be giving up goals by the bucket. This year they're one of the tightest. They're not conceding chances. The Crew also not conceding chances. They both have strong offenses, but this just feels a little too uncertain to me.
Any final thoughts, Dion, before we move on to the Charlotte game?
No, Scott. I think Scott hit the nail on the head there, because even looking at the expected outcomes, I have two different models with it, and it's under 2.5 for both teams. And I mean, yes, both of these offenses are potent, but like Scott said, two of the lowest expected goals against, and they're both not allowing goals this season. So I had to stay away from this game.
And I don't blame you for doing that. Make sure, you guys, if you're watching live, you can drop a comment and we will pull that right up on stage. If you have anything to say, we could pull those right up. So make sure you are weighing in with your picks here as we go along. Let's move on to Charlotte. 5 wins, 1 draw, 2 losses against SDFC. San Diego 4-2-2 off to a really hot start. I think they're playing some really good ball over there personally. This game's going to be in Bank of America Stadium, 7:30, one of the first nighttime games. Taking a look here at the odds, you have Charlotte at plus 130, San Diego at plus 200, and the draw at plus 220. If you have a lean in any of them, I think that those are all fantastic numbers. I think the sportsbook kind of got this spot on, and anytime you can get a positive on all 3 results, something you got to take pretty seriously. Over under 2.5 goals, minus 126 to the over. And if you look at the over-under on a goal and a half for each team, plus 112 for Charlotte to go over, plus 148 for San Diego to go over. We have one official play, and it's Dion.
Yeah, so I went a little bit of a different route on this one. I went Charlotte double chance and both teams to score. Both teams are averaging about 2 goals. Like Charlotte's averaging about 2.5 goals at home. San Diego's averaging about 2 goals away, and both teams are allowing goals. And so I think that we're going to see both teams score. But I got to go with right now. Charlotte has 4 wins. They're undefeated at home so far this season with 4 wins at home. And I kind of have to stay with that. And that's why I'm going with the double chance just in case if it ends in a draw there at Bank of America Stadium.
My own model has both teams to score hitting at a 66.59% for this match. Not something you normally, when you see Charlotte, it's not like, oh yeah, both teams to score. It's kind of a new thing this year. And I don't think it has anything to do with the Charlotte defense as much as the San Diego offense. They're scoring home. They're scoring away. They've looked really, really good. Scott?
I agree with that. The San Diego offense is electric. I still love Charlotte's defense, but they're not quite the shutout. But I agree with Dion. I like Charlotte at home a lot. But yeah, they might concede a goal.
Thank you. There's someone in the chat. I'm not going to pull up his name because it's not made for radio. We are not talking about the Seattle-Nashville game, buddy. So that is not one that came up on any of our sports cards. For this one, we do have one official play. Dion, Charlotte double chance in both teams to score, minus 105, taking the home team, but thinking the away team is going to find the board. I like that a lot. Maybe not at 105, not really one of my favorite bets there. I'm getting booed in the chat section. That's okay. Got to keep it clean for the kids, you know. Next match is going to be CF Montreal against Orlando. CF Montreal still winless 0-2-6, playing their first home game last week. That ended up being a loss. Orlando 3-3-2. This game is Saturday, 7:30 at Stade Saputo in Montreal. Beautiful city, one that I've been really lucky to have visited, and I would tell anyone if you get a chance, go. But maybe not playing the best soccer in the world. I have an official play on this. Scott, you have an official play. Why don't you go first?
Cool. Yeah, so my official play is Orlando with a draw no bet. That's minus 125. Not super duper great odds, but I like it. This Montreal team, yes, they've been on the road, but they really don't look that great. You really can't pick out too many players in their lineup that you're like, yeah, that's a really good player. This Orlando team, on the other hand, I think they do have some real talent, especially in the offense. And when you look at them, you know, their expected goal is one of the best in the league. They're 7th in the league for expected goal. Their expected goals allowed is pretty poor, but I think a lot of that is just from the first 2 games of the season where they conceded 6 goals, which is half of their total goals conceded. If you look at their last 5, it's not so bad. So I think this is a good opportunity for them to get on the road, pick up some points, and then just in case, you know, Montreal does find some form, as they eventually will, that draw no bet just protects me a little bit.
I like that play, and we didn't talk much about the odds here before I jumped right into it. Getting excited for these picks. Montreal plus 180, Orlando plus 145, so you have a road favorite and a home dog at plus 180. Draw is at plus 220. Scott, I'm going to be the opposite side of that match, and it's for kind of a few reasons. Part of it has to do with last season. CF Montreal, they had some stadium construction first 7 weeks of the season, so are on a 7-game away streak. They've done that a couple times. I think they did a little smaller last year. But the good side is you get these home stands when you do that. And CF Montreal, this is their 2nd game at home. Last week they did lose. They lost to Charlotte, but they had a higher XG, 1.94 to 1.12. They put 4 of their 17 shots on target. Not great in conversion, but that's actually closer to average in Major League Soccer than you'd think. 17 shots, though, is quite a bit. They also dominated possession, holding almost 70% of the ball. I think it's Montreal's time to turn one around and get a win at home. I think that Orlando on the road, 1 win, 2 draws, no loss. They're beatable. The lone win is coming to the lowly LA Galaxy when they had draws against Red Bull and Philadelphia, with the loss coming from NYCFC. 5 goals and 5 goals against on the road, goal differential 0. CF Montreal doesn't really need to move heaven and earth here to put up profit on our sportsbook, and for that reason, I am taking them on the draw no bet at -105. So Scott, Orlando draw no bet -125. Myself, Montreal draw no bet -105. Alex, you have to pick a winner. You have to settle this right now. We need you.
I mean, Montreal has to win eventually, but I don't think it's this week. Orlando's front three, I really like the way they're playing right now. If they're going to win on the road, this is the week they're going to win on the road against a team that hasn't won all year. This to me, I feel a tie here. I really do, but I don't know. I don't think this is the week Montreal wins. They're going to start winning. I just don't think it's this week. Orlando, the way their front three are going, Palicic and Montreal and what's his face, the number 10. They're playing great. I don't think this week Montreal gets to win.
I don't like the way that broke down. Dion, side with me.
I'm just telling you how I see it.
I'm sorry, Bob. I can't do it. It is a 77% chance win probability that Orlando go on the road here, and I'm kind of with Alex though. I think that this one screams a tie. Orlando though, you're Alex. You're saying that their front three is pretty good. In the last 2 matches, they have not shown up. They have not scored in either of the last 2 matches, and they scored 2 goals in their third match against the Galaxy, and that's why they scored. It was against the Galaxy. So it screams tie to me, so that's why I didn't put any bets. But it is leaning towards Orlando. So if I had to go with one, I would go with Orlando over Montreal.
My metrics here are giving me a 56.2% chance at a CF Montreal outright win and only 19.8 for Orlando. That's based on XG, form, injury status, all those things. So we will see model versus the pool here. Next matchup, New England Revolution host NYCFC. Saturday, 7:30, Gillette Stadium. This is a game that no one really wants to stay up for, but you kind of just have to. Like, is that how this works now? Let's see what the odds are. Catch this one on MLS 360, will you? Revolution plus 178. New York City FC is at plus 180. Draw plus 230. Over under 2.5 goals. Minus 124 to the over. Plus 102 to the under here. Official plays go to myself. So does anyone else want to lead the way, give a lean, give a talk, even bring up anything you have to say about these two squads? I think this is a very interesting matchup.
I think Dion's got them too. No? Am I looking at this right?
It is not Dion.
Oh, I guess I did go with that. I did. I think I matched. Yeah, I did the under 2.5 goals. This is, to me, it'll be a snooze fest. I don't think that we'll see too much, and I thought that the under 2.5 looked pretty good.
Yeah, that is exactly the same as my play. I'm sure I had something really smart to say about it at the time, but these two teams just aren't scoring. These two teams are not scoring at all. When I plugged in all my numbers in my home model, I came up with like a huge advantage to taking the under in this match, and I see myself as having a 10% advantage on the sportsbook here. I think we're getting a really good number. I'll have to switch. This graphic will not be right. Me and Dion both under 2.5 goals at plus 102. You're getting plus money. The Revolution, how many goals have they scored from play?
That's what I was going to ask.
One.
I think it's still
5?
0. I think, isn't it still 0 goals from open play? All either penalties or free kicks.
I would have to look it up, but it seems very low. Yeah.
I hate that stadium where they play in. That's why I hate betting. Hate New England Revolution when they're home because I hate that turf. I never know how it's going to turn out. There's always a lot of winds. Could be a lot of rain. I don't know. That's why I don't like. I never taking New England for against because there's a lot of factors that come in, especially with the weather-wise, the way it is that New England is over there. And the turf. Again, what you guys say, the minus 2.5. Maybe because of that, yes, but I couldn't pick a winner in this game. I really couldn't.
New England has 4 goals on the season. Carl Hill has 2 penalties and a set-piece goal, and the 4th goal was scored by Own. So Yeah, they have not scored from the run of play yet. Can't bet on that. But NYCFC is equally bad on the road. They are not putting balls in the back of the net when they are the away team. I have them projected to be under 1 total goal. So there you go.
They scored 3 in Atlanta.
Yeah. Fair. But isn't Atlanta... New England's defense is better than Atlanta.
Star flukes.
Revolution is better than Atlanta on defense.
I do think that was pretty fluky.
Yeah.
That was well played, though, by Scott. Very well played.
Remember when I said that Atlanta's defense was nothing to be proud of, and I got like walked all over on Twitter the next day? A kid wrote an article about me, and then they've been awful ever since about that. Yeah. Red Bull, New York, 3-3-2. DC United, 1-3-4. This game is Saturday, 7:30, Sports Illustrated Stadium. I will be in attendance. Let's look at what the odds makers are saying. Red Bulls -115, DC United +290, and the draw is at +250. Over under 2.5 goals, -128 to the over, +104 to the under. Red Bulls over under a goal and a half, -120 and -106, just about even chance either way. And the DC United over and under a goal and a half, +200 to the over. If you think this is a shootout, that might be the way to go here, although they've been stymied a few times recently. There are 3 official plays, myself, Scott, and Alex. Let's throw over to Alex first.
Yeah, this used to be a great rivalry. There's no longer a rivalry here. I remember going out to RFK Stadium, late 90s, early 2000s, getting glass bottles thrown at us. It was fantastic. But things have changed. DC United and Red Bull have not exactly been support shield contenders for a while. You know, the hatred between the two really haven't happened. No trades between the teams, nothing going on. I just don't like the way DC United has been playing at all year. Benteke, they have one player that scares me. The rest of the team is, I don't see any spark anywhere going on. Red Bull at home, you know, after last couple of weeks. I know Lewis Morgan's not back. I know Edelman's not playing. This is more about DC United really not showing anything to me at all, and I'm going to take Red Bull because they're home on this. -115 means it's pretty good straight up. I'm not worrying about a double chance or a tie. I think Red Bull's going to win this game. I think they'll win it handily.
Love that. Keep in mind, this is a very strange Red Bull team because usually with the high press and with all this, chaos-driven attack, they do really well on the road and maybe struggle a little bit at home. It's quite the opposite. 8 goals, 4 goals against at home. That is in 4 matches. And 1 goal, 3 goals against on the road. They are playing, the kind of that European lights out, you're not going to score on me soccer. But at Red Bull Arena, it's a little bit different. DC United's a little leaky. Scott, can you get on our back with this one?
Yes, I am going to support the Red Bulls in this game. I think they win. I just have Red Bulls outright at -115. The reason that I'm not going to pair this with an over is that I just think the Red Bulls are a little too unpredictable as far as offensive output goes.
I agree 1,000%.
Yeah, and DC United is kind of the same way this year out. Like, I agree with what Alex said. I just don't like the way they're playing. They do score in most games. They average like little over 1.
And Benteke strikes fear. He does. He strikes fear.
He strikes fear, but they just aren't reliable that way. And the Red Bulls could easily shut DC out and win this game 1-0. And just because of that, I was like, forget it. I'll take my 115 and say thank you.
I don't agree here. I think that Red Bull are going to find the back of the net twice. I think this reminds me a lot of the Orlando or the Nashville game. You're going to see like the first 45 minutes. Red Bull to score in the first half could be a really good one too. I could see them going up 2-0, 2-1, 3-0 real early and just putting the brakes and saying no. Luckily, while DC United does have some quick wingers, there's no one like super athletic I'm really afraid of. Benteke, obviously, we know what he brings to the team, scoring corners, getting those headers. It actually matches up nicely because I think Parker, Isla, Nayless, these are guys, Hack, who can win headers, who can be more competitive in the set piece space while they maybe can't chase the guys down from behind. So I'm also taking one in this. My play is going to be a little heavier. I'm taking Red Bull over a goal and a half at plus 135. Excuse me, Red Bull and 1.5 goals on the over at plus 135. Scott and Alex on Red Bull even at minus 115. Moving ahead now to Philadelphia, 7:30 p.m. at Subaru Park. The Philadelphia Union host Atlanta United against the Philadelphia Union. Philadelphia Union have 1 win, 1 draw, 3 losses in their last 5 matches. Their form has been slumping a little bit on offense. They came out super hot, press, sexy ball. But now Carnell's in a little bit of a talent gulf. They sent Gazdag out to the Crew. I don't think that was a great idea. You also saw them sell midfielders, McGlynn, earlier in the offseason. So now I think Philadelphia is kind of taking a step back for more reasons than one. Damiani, a guy who we've talked about here on the show, who just hasn't found the back of the net. I mean, he has one of the highest XG numbers in Major League Soccer without a goal. This is a very tough one for me. I think I'm taking a little bit of an unpopular pick, but let's look ahead at the odds. Philadelphia plus 105. They are heavy home favorites. Atlanta plus 230, and the draw is at plus 250. Over under 2.5 goals, minus 176 to the over. I have the one official play, but Dion, you are the one official Atlanta United fan here. Take it away.
Oh, I mean, I didn't bet on this because I try not to bet because I don't want my emotions to get into it. But as of right now, my emotions say Philadelphia would win this. Atlanta, you touched a little bit earlier about their defense. It's been awful. I think the team as a whole is just off. We should be averaging 2 goals a game with the players that we have up top. And I would not pick Atlanta right now, but this could be the week that they turn it around. And they also haven't won on the road yet.
I like Atlanta in this match, and my official play is going to be Atlanta on the Drono bet at plus 150. I mean, this is a game that even Andre Blake is going to be questionable for. I think that Philadelphia is the heavy home favorite because of what they've done this season and not what they've done lately. I don't think that number reflects what they're capable of right now. In a bubble, if I handed you both rosters, you would take Atlanta by a landslide, and you do it every time. There's that much talent missing. Now, Ty Baribo, still fantastic. Quinn Sullivan's looked fantastic. Jean-Jacques on Philadelphia is a very good player. But it's not Latte Lath. It's not Lobzanije. It's not Almiron. I think Atlanta has some really, really talented players. They have a goalkeeper who I know is going to be in net for this match, which kind of means a lot to me. I'm taking away a little bit on the, what we've done, what Atlanta's done in the past. Atlanta knows they need to turn a corner here, and Atlanta has the players to do it. They just got to get out there and get a win. I think that happens, but I'm not so confident in seeing Dion didn't play this. I said, a draw no bet at plus 150 is still beautiful odds. That is a huge number. That's a gigantic number there. So that is the official play, Atlanta on the draw no bet at plus 150. Scott, you have anything to add?
Yeah, you're absolutely right about Philadelphia. They have 13 goals scored. 6 of those are Ty Baribo in the first 3 games. Since then, crickets. Absolute crickets. So there's a lot of this that is Philadelphia from the first 3 games and not Philadelphia of the last 5. Philadelphia of the last 5, 1 win, 3 losses, 1 draw. That's not very good. That's bad form. That is bad form. This is an opportunity for Atlanta. And if they can take advantage of Philadelphia's high line and be quick, which Atlanta has the tools to do, then they can absolutely get away with points from this game.
Now, I have to kind of say, with small, small market betting, the market's not always right when it comes out. And these are based on models for EPL and some other things. So for betting purposes, this isn't Philly versus Atlanta. This is Bournemouth versus Everton or something like whatever the comparable teams are. So they just kind of plug it and go, looking at the whole picture rather than the recent form. And I think that's really where we can make some money betting on Major League Soccer here. Moving on, Chicago Fire host Cincinnati. This is going to go down in Soldier Field, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. We take a look at the betting odds here. Chicago Fire plus 125, Cincinnati plus 200, and the draw is at plus 230. Over under 2.5 goals, minus 128 to the over, plus 104 for the under. You have Chicago over under a goal and a half at plus 106 to the over, minus 136 for the under. And Cincy over under a goal and a half, plus 154 to the over, minus 200 to the under. The official play here is going to go to Alex. So I want you to tell what you see in besides, Chicago really turning a corner, and really Berhalter is making himself look really good out there.
And originally, I took Chicago straight up in this game. And then I read Evander's going to play. I got nervous, and then I changed my bet to Chicago draw no bet minus 150. De Bruyne linked to them. They got a buzz going on last week. Miami at home's, I don't know how many people at Soldier Field, sold out stadium. They look pretty good to me. Cincinnati won on the road last week. I got to win a second game 2 weeks in a row on the road. I say they will not. And I like Chicago in this game. I just got a little nervous taking them straight up, so I went this way around. But I don't think Cincinnati's going to win this game.
Dion, I think that there is smoke to the fire for the Chicago Fire because they were rumored earlier this offseason to be linked with Neymar. Like they are looking for a big name. It's been a long time. Chicago has a lot of things going right now. They have a lot of things going wrong. Still a stadium situation. What do you think? Are they going to sign the big star this offseason or this summer?
I mean, I don't know. I think the KDB stuff, I think it'd be cool. And there's also rumors saying that he's interested, that he's willing to talk. I saw one of those earlier. I don't see it happening. I think if they can start performing better than what they are, they're not bad right now. They're not terrible. They're not the usual Chicago Fire that we know. But if they continue to do well, maybe they could land, a bigger star in the summer. But I just can't see it happening. I don't know what would draw one of those guys to Chicago. I mean, I know it is one of the bigger cities in the U.S., but what's there to draw them to?
I think the weather's not great. It's windy. It's chilly.
But DPs have wanted to go to Chicago over the years. Scheinsteiger, Blanco from Mexico, going back over the time. Chicago's a destination for people from around the world. New York, Chicago, Los Angeles. That's one of the three destinations. And I don't think he has a problem coming into Chicago. Again, money talks. But again, Inter Miami has his discovery rights. Again, how does Inter Miami have his discovery rights? Again, I read about that too. It's they have discovery rights for every goddamn player seems in the world. So even if Chicago won them, they have to make a deal or some kind of bucks to Inter Miami. So again, we go back to Inter Miami. We always have to mention them. Anyway, getting back to this game, I still think the way Chicago, they're on the upward trajectory. Cincinnati won on the road last week. I don't think they can do 2 weeks in a row, and that's why I went the way I went. That's it.
Cincinnati's a really good squad, but you're right.
Yes.
Chicago, if they want to be considered above average, they need to win this game. They need to win games of this caliber. I do agree there. One
At home.
play, Chicago draw no bet minus 150. Moving on, Houston Dynamo are hosting the Colorado Rapids, 8:30 Shell Energy Stadium. Houston Dynamo minus 135 as home favorites. Colorado Rapids plus 340, and the draw is at plus 270. Over under 2.5 goals. Minus 120 to the over, minus 102 to the under. So we are looking at low totals. That usually favors the away team. We have one official play here, and that is going to be Scott.
Yeah, I really couldn't figure these odds out. Houston, not good this year. At home, they are 1 win, 0 draws, 3 losses. I don't know where you get minus 135 from that. I thought, maybe Colorado's bad on the road. 2 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. So not especially bad on the road. They're 5th in the West in terms of road form. So I couldn't really figure that one out. So I was looking at Colorado. I like Colorado. I looked at the availability. Colorado's pretty healthy. Cole Bassett's going to be there. Mihailovic is healthy. Navarro is healthy. He's got 4 goals on the season. Seems like a good bet to me. So I'm looking at Colorado to win. There's a little nagging doubt that somebody knows something that I don't. So I'm going to go Colorado double chance. Win or draw. It's minus 105. Yeah, I'm giving up that big 340, even though I think Colorado's going to win, but just a little protection, just in case somebody does know something I don't know.
I love it. I think Connor Ronan might be making his return in this match too, which would be really, really cool to see.
Would be great.
In my own projections, I have, based against the sportsbook numbers here, Colorado Rapids have a 5.27% advantage on the implied probability given by the sportsbook. So I'm really liking that number there for you. Next, we're going to move to St. Louis City. 2 wins, 2 draws, 4 losses. Hosting the Vancouver Whitecaps. 6 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss on the young MLS season. 8:30 Energizer Park for this one. You see St. Louis City plus 125, Vancouver Whitecaps plus 200 in the draw at plus 230. That's kind of all we really need to say. I know myself and Dion have official plays here. This was also included in my best bets article. So why don't I throw over to Dion first?
Yeah, I actually went with this one. I went with Vancouver straight up at plus 200 at the time, I think. Yeah, it's still 200. I unfortunately, until St. Louis starts scoring goals, I can't really pick them. And I think with how Vancouver have played in their last 5 matches, well, really last 2 matches, even though they were at home, I think that they're finding their way to score. They're looking good this season. And unfortunately, St. Louis just not doing it, and they're not really scoring. And even at home, they're only averaging a half a goal at home. So I had to go with the Whitecaps straight up on this one.
Absolutely. I'm on the same side of this one. Vancouver have 5 goals and 1 allowed in 3 road games this season. They're playing as good as any team on the road right now, and I like them to win outright. But because of travel, you're going West Coast to East Coast. You're passing a couple time zones on your way to do it. Can I take them straight up? No, I'm not as brave as Dion. I'm taking Whitecaps on the draw no bet at plus 115. Still a great number. Dion taking Whitecaps at plus 200. Anyone thoughts on St. Louis City versus Vancouver?
I almost took Vancouver. I thought I really wanted to. The last second I just backed out.
This is probably bad for you guys, but I think it's a good play based off of my recent record.
But
I think this is a great play. But man, St. Louis City, I think there's a real team in there. I think there's a really good team in there. But 5 goals scored on the season, that is insanely low numbers. So I probably not this week.
Vancouver have been predictable and good. St. Louis City has been unpredictable, and I'm not going to say they're bad because they started out with 4 games without allowing a single goal, 2 draws and 2 wins, but since then it's been 4 losses. So I think they're going to turn around. I think they're going to get it together. If you're at home on a homestand, you do not want to see the Whitecaps right now. It's just that simple. But again, travel, there are other variables here. Even when I tried to, move my slider adjustment on Vancouver all the way down, they were still coming out as favorites every single time I ran my numbers. So that's the way I'm going with this one. Dion, any thoughts?
No, I don't have any other ones. I think Vancouver's the better side. I would really like to see St. Louis start scoring because I think that they could be really, really potent. Like if they start scoring, they're going to be a hard team to beat because of their defense.
I agree completely, but you got to put them in net to put the W's in the win column there. One final match. The San Jose Earthquakes, 3 wins, 1 draw, 4 losses. Host Sporting KC, 1 win, 1 draw, 6 losses. 10:30 p.m. PayPal Park. Again, this is on Saturday. All the matches are avoiding the Easter Sunday conflict. Let's take a look at some numbers here. The Quakes are minus 110 home favorites. You have Sporting KC plus 250 on the road, and the draw at plus 270. Over under 2.5 goals. Minus 162 to the over, plus 132 to the under. Sportsbook looking at a higher goal total in this than most of the other matches we've talked about. And that's on the back of San Jose, not on the back of Sporting KC. They're over under a goal and a half. Has Sporting KC at plus 158 if you think they're going to score 2. We have 3 official plays, myself, Scott, and Alex. And I have to admit, I was not officially in on this, although it was kind of in the back of my head like, yeah, this is a no-brainer. But when I saw everyone else is in it, I want to join the party. I don't want to be left out. Scott, talk us out of it.
Well, I think, yeah, okay. Well, I think the big part of this is we're just looking at that San Jose offense that we know can be so, electric and potent. They're only a week removed from putting up 6 on DC United. And then, of course, last week they only put up 1 on LAFC and lost that game. Look, I like San Jose at home, and you're starting from a pretty good place for a home team. SKC, I still think SKC is terrible. They fired Peter Vermees. They're going to get a new manager bump. I still think this roster is just not that good. I still think this whole team is just not that good, but they can be a little frisky, and the Quakes defense is super unreliable. So I went with San Jose or the draw, and because the odds for the straight double chance were terrible, I had to pair it with a little something. Good offense, bad defense, frisky-ish team on the other side of the field. I thought, let's just pair it with an over 2.5 with the San Jose double chance puts you at -115. I thought, all right, that feels very reasonable. The Quakes can cover this all by themselves if they really want to. SKC could easily get a goal against a pretty leaky San Jose defense. 3 goals, easy.
I love what Bruce Arena has done with his squad. I like that Christian Arango and Joseph Martinez are playing together, not against each other. I did not see that happening. Without looking, Dion. Earthquakes versus Whitecaps. Who has more goals on the season?
Earthquakes versus Whitecaps? Oh, I would want to say Vancouver.
Vancouver by 1 goal.
Yeah.
What about Minnesota United, San Jose?
San Jose, I think.
Chicago Fire, San Jose.
San Jose.
I can go through 29 more teams because the Vancouver Whitecaps are the only team in Major League Soccer who has scored 17 goals. San Jose has 16. They are alone in second place for goals scored. That is Bruce Arena doing some work because San Jose had a really bad defense. They were really bad on offense too, and they're still without Hernan Lopez, one of their best players. Having 2 strikers up top that can play ball is so important in Major League Soccer. We have more plays on this. Alex, you had San Jose. I had San Jose at -110 even. Scott took the double chance over 2.5. Alex, do you have anything to add on this match?
No, this is, again, just like took Red Bull over DC because it's more about how bad DC Net is. This is about Sporting Kansas City. Yes, Jovic is showing some signs of scoring over there. Slight concern with that, but too much firepower. San Jose at home, Bruce Arena, the revenge tour. I think a lot of people are in for a rude awakening going to San Jose this year. They don't see it, but they're going to start seeing it real soon. I don't see Kansas City getting in there and getting a result. -105 to me ain't that bad. I didn't have to do a over-under goal this. Do not bet that. I just took it straight up, and I think it's going to happen.
Love it. Okay. All the matches are done. We have concluded our episode here, guys. Any final thoughts heading into MLS Matchday 9, our show 7 of 8 weeks profitable? We are looking to turn that corner and have another big week this week, plus 6-1 units. Sloan said he wins the race on MLSA Matchday 8, but I think we can do better. Connor says, what's up? We're out of here, but you can catch the show on replay just by hitting that refresh button on YouTube or going to Spotify. It'll be up in just a few minutes in video, or your favorite podcast network, Connor. So thank you for checking in. But we're just about done here on the Designated Pundits. Gentlemen, week 9 is right around the corner. This is moving into from just under a quarter of the season to just over the quarter of the season will be completed by this next weekend. And we're here to talk about it back on Monday, 8:30 to recap the week. Thank you for joining us on the Designated Pundits.